Herbie always gives me crap during practice. He's always like, oh, I'm going to pick this, I'm going to pick this. And he never does. So I just thought it'd be cool. In the game, I got the call. I was like, hey, Herbie, I'm going to pick this one. Worked out.
Wisconsin's jewelry thief planned his heist, and it worked out to perfection. Not only did John Torchio pick off the pass, but he housed it to the tune of 100 yards, setting a new school record in the process. And more importantly, Torch's pick six provided a much-needed spark to the Badgers, and it was all over after that.
You know, we're kind of flat. Weren't playing up to what we should play to. You know, I think Torch really turned the game around for us.
Coach Chris always talks about, being that spark, being a guy who ignites the team, and I think that, John Torchio making that play definitely is something that, ignited other people and inspired other people to make big plays as well.
He's Jim Polzin from the Wisconsin State Journal. I'm Zach Hanley, and this is the Badger Blueprint. Jim, the defense played well. 4 sacks, 2 turnovers, and 0 points allowed, but it seemed like everyone needed that spark to get going.
Yeah, it was a weird opening 7 minutes. A lot of opening game jitters, I think. A couple penalties, a drop pass, and a punt return that kind of went awry. So, yeah, you're looking at a deficit if Illinois State goes in and scores there. Instead, Torchio picks off the pass, takes it back. Wisconsin has a lead. I think the natives were starting to get a little bit restless in those first 7 minutes. All of a sudden, the crowd gets into the game. I think the players kind of loosened up after that. It was exactly what the Badgers needed.
The Bobby Ingram era as Wisconsin's offensive coordinator couldn't have gone any better. The game plan was balanced. Braylon Allen and the running backs rushed for 221 yards, while Graham Mertz threw for 219 and completed 14 straight passes to 7 different receivers. They were methodical, but also explosive, and the big gainers got this group going.
The whole morale of the whole offense is boosted because it shows that, in that game, whoever you're playing, like, if every guy's on their fit and doing the right job, like, that's what can happen, busting big runs or big pass plays.
You want to spread the ball out. You want to get a lot of guys touches. And the cool thing is we got a lot of guys that might not have gotten touches tonight that are going to. They're going to contribute. So, yeah, it was definitely good to get some guys going.
We asked them about the chunk plays after the game, and Mertz said they haven't even cracked the surface. How explosive can this unit be?
Yeah, I think the one thing he mentioned there that I liked was that there are a lot of guys that really didn't get their hands on the ball that still could. You look at the backfield, Ches Malusi only touched the ball 10 times. Isaac Garendo is a guy that I think can be explosive, and I think he'll get more touches in different ways, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. Keontez Lewis, a transfer from UCLA, is a deep threat. I think he can be. He didn't touch the ball in game 1. So you look at this, I think there's a lot more ways this team can be explosive, and they have to be. If you look at the last 2 years, really, one of the things that's been missing from this offense has been a lack of chunk plays. I think you're going to see more of those this year.
The best thing about non-conference games is they're like a tune-up for the Big Ten season. But the hardest part is you really don't know what to expect from teams you rarely play, which is why these first 3 weeks, it's more about Wisconsin than insert random opponent on their schedule. This week, it's Washington State.
This early in the year, you kind of have film, more of their film from last year, and not all the same guys are there. There might be new coaches, things like that. So it's kind of, yeah, it's more about us, I would say, and make sure that we're prepared regardless of who we're playing.
It's not like they're not watching film or studying Washington State schemes, but I got the sense Wisconsin, they weren't pleased with how they played defensively. You got penalties, missed tackles. That really hurt them. And now, Jim, they have to work in a new safety along with Torchio.
Yeah, it's crazy after a shutout that a team would be disappointed, but I think that's a good sign for this team. They want to improve. They know that this was not a perfect performance by any means. Know they're going to have to be better against Washington State, which is a team from a power conference, and a team that can really spread you out and do some different things in the pass game and run game. So I like that they're not satisfied. I think there's a lot of more work to be done.
And coming up next, Watson returns to Camp Randall. While Paul Chris is reminding the Badgers Saturday is not a reunion. More Blueprint after the break.
I love him, so that's my dog, but when we're on that field, we got to handle business, and I think he feels the same way.
He is Nakia Watson, former Badger running back, now current starting Cougar running back, who will be making his first trip back to Camp Randall since transferring. So it will be good to see an old teammate, but let's be clear, it's Wisconsin versus Washington State this Saturday, not a family reunion.
He's got teammates here that know him well and certainly appreciate him. Guys, we all liked having him on this team, but it's Wisconsin versus Washington State, and he's their back.
Watson's not the only one with Wisconsin ties. Wazoo's head coach Jake Dickert was born and raised here, played football at UW-Stevens Point. Jim, will Saturday be a happy homecoming for him?
I don't think so. I think Wisconsin should win this game comfortably. This is an upgraded opponent, certainly, and I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as it was in week 1. But I think Wisconsin wins by 2 touchdowns.
I agree. Wisconsin's going to be tested more, especially on the offensive line and in the secondary. This is a game, though, the Badgers should win, and they will by double digits. And that's it for this week's Badger Blueprint. Thanks for watching.